quick guide through the Old Testament. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And then God created man in his own image. The story of Adam and Eve and their rebellion against God is known as the fall. After being expelled from the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve would go on to have many sons and daughters. One of their descendants was a man by the name of Noah. During Noah's life men had become very wicked and evil. So God asked Noah to build an ark. He had decided to send a flood to cleanse the earth of all unrighteousness. After Noah's flood we are given the account of the Tower at Babel. And then the life story of a man called Abram, around 1900 years BC. Abram's name would later be changed to Abraham. God promised Abraham a land called Canaan. Abraham would go on to have 2 sons, Ishmael and then Isaac. Ishmael is believed to be the father of the Arab nations. Isaac would later marry a woman named Rebekah. And they had twins they called Esau and Jacob. Jacob's name was later changed to Israel. He had 4 wives and 12 sons. These 12 sons would become known as the children of Israel or the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph was one of those 12 sons. He was placed in a well out of jealousy and then sold as a slave into Egypt by his brothers. Eventually due to a famine. His father Israel, his 11 brothers, and all of their wives and children traveled to Egypt. Joseph had risen to become the second most powerful man next to Pharaoh. Then Joseph died. And the children of Israel became slaves in Egypt for over 400 years. God then called a deliverer called Moses. When Moses was 80 years of age, he challenged Pharaoh to let the children of Israel go. When Pharaoh refused, Moses pronounced a judgment of 10 plagues on Egypt. And led over 2 million Israelites to the Promised Land. Moses led them through the Red Sea. Then wandered in the wilderness for 40 years for disobedience. During this time, God gave Moses the 10 Commandments to rule his people. When Moses died, Joshua led the 12 tribes of Israel into the land that God had promised to Abraham. This land today is known as Israel. Then after Joshua's death, God appointed judges, to judge the 12 families of Israel. The judges judged Israel for 250 years. Gideon and Samson were both judges. Ruth also lived during this time. Samuel was the last judge and the first prophet of Israel. During the time of Samuel, about 1,000 years before Christ, we enter the time of the kings. Samuel the prophet anointed Saul as the first king of Israel. After Saul, David would become king. King David wrote many of the Psalms, and when he died his son Solomon became king. He built the temple for the Lord. King Solomon also wrote Proverbs, Songs, and the book of Ecclesiastes. But because of his reckless behavior, the Lord took 10 tribes from Solomon's kingdom and left him with just the tribe of Judah, for the sake of David his father. Then Solomon died. And there were many kings after him. But after the Lord took the kingdom from Solomon, the kingdom of Judah settled in the south, and the kingdom of Israel in the north. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share and leave a comment. Subscribe.